Altcoins. Our beloved altcoin season. Will it come at long last? Or are we all just throwing our dollars out the window, hoping that something's going to happen? Well, that's the focus of today's video. Is an altcoin season coming? And if so, when?
I'll put you out of your misery.
Say when.
Now this video will be pretty chart heavy, and we're going to analyze everything here. We're going to look at the bullish case, the bearish case, and kind of a neutral case as well. And to be clear, I'm on the bullish side. Surprise, surprise. But we're also going to be looking at key timing. That will be important as well, because when is just as important as if. So the crypto others chart will be the focus, excluding the top 10 coins on the monthly here. Now this is just pure blood altcoins, okay? No Bitcoin, no ETH, no Solana, no XRP, no stable coins, just everything outside the top 10. So just from a quick glance at this chart, well, the words of George Costanza.
Can I say one thing to you? And I say this with an unblemished record of staunch heterosexuality.
Absolutely.
It's fabulous.
This thing just looks absolutely primed and ready to rip. Now notice how the market cap is coiling up inside of this multi-year symmetrical triangle. Bullish. I like that, because who doesn't love a good old-fashioned triangle break to the upside? This guy loves it. You do too. But what I'm really liking are the volumes for these past 3 months. They're coming in super strong, which shows that altcoins are actually starting to do something. They're starting to move. Of course, ETH and XRP have had big moves, but this is the others chart. Means other altcoins are moving too. Even though this movement hasn't been reflected in price action in any major way yet, the volumes are there. People are trading. Now turning to the indicators, notice how the RSI is coiling up inside a similar triangle pattern here. This further suggests that a big breakout might be coming for the others chart. We've also got a really nice bullish crossover on the stochastic from below the 50. This means there's plenty of fuel for the altcoins to run from here. Finally, it appears that the MACD is even making a bullish crossover now above the 0 line. Good stuff. So the TLDR on this others chart is that it all looks pretty damn good right now for the bulls. It would be hard to be mega bearish here on altcoins. Things are moving the right direction, and sentiment has been in the gutter for most altcoins. Now let's assume that the altcoins do pump and then they break above this triangle. How high do we go? How crazy could things actually get? Well, I'm gonna answer that question for you in a second, but first, guys, you're trading this cryptocurrency market. You're trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. You want to trade more exotic stuff, altcoins, dog coins, whatever coins you want to trade. You should be doing that over on BitUnix, where I'm doing most of my trading these days, and they've got an insane deal on right now. But of course, this is a no KYC, no VPN exchange, meaning that anyone, anywhere, that's you, can trade on BitUnix. Long the rip, short the dips, up to you. And here's the deal. When you use the link, it's right down here, okay? When you use this link exclusively, you're gonna get some insane deals. You're straight to VIP level 3 for a trial, 30% off your fees. You can get up to $400 in deposit bonus. It's super simple. Deposit $500, get $100 back, $1,000, $200 back, $2,000, get $400 back. This is crazy cash back money in your account. Plus, you can get insane trading bonuses all the way up to $8,000 and a crazy 3 ETH bonus, which is just nuts, okay? So link down below, go check it out. Start trading the right way. Start trading with freedom. Check out BitUnix right down there. Okay, so back to it. The Fibonacci analysis. It says that the 1.618 line puts the others at a $750 billion market cap. So that's target number 1. If that gets blown out, the next target would be 2.618, which is a $1.2 trillion market cap. And just as reference, the others right now is just under $300 billion. That's a huge move we're talking about. So 2.5x and 4x from current prices. We can also do a classic triangle breakout projection here, and that gives us an over $850 billion market cap target, which is somewhat overlapped with the 1.618 line at around $750 billion. Now, let's get to what I think is perhaps the most interesting part of this analysis, the timing. Because as you know, if you've been holding altcoin bags and getting your butt absolutely slaughtered the last few years, timing is everything with altcoins. Specifically, if we are to get a pump like this, when does it happen? And it's interesting because when we start thinking about timing here, that's when we begin to realize that this cycle has a lot of new rhythms to it. This time is different. Dangerous words in investing, I understand, but this is a maturation phase for the entire cryptocurrency asset class, meaning I'm increasingly thinking that the altcoins to the moon at the end of the 4-year cycle theory could be coming into question. It might be over. We're probably going into something new and different. The asset maturation phase, which we've seen happen for other asset classes, by the way, like tech stocks and gold. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, if everything was to fit neatly inside of the traditional 4-year cycle theory, that would mean that the others market cap would have to do something like this within the next 5 months. It's not impossible. Don't get me, it's crypto, man. It's crazy shit. Have you seen these pumps before? It's not impossible. 5 months, because that's really the cutoff for the traditional 4-year cycle, by the way. Now, is it possible that the others are actually going to do this? Sure, it's possible. Is it the most likely scenario, though?
What do you think the chances are of a guy like you and a girl like me ending up together?
But with where we are currently on the calendar, it's very questionable, okay? Sure, crypto can have mega pumps. It does that. But last cycle, it took the others about 10 months to hit its peak. And that was with insane money printing, wild economic conditions. Starting from when the altcoins began to really move, it took a long time, longer than people think it might. Now, the altcoins were able to make a major parabolic move in the 2018 cycle top in just over 2 months, but the 2017 move really just isn't comparable to today, because going from 15 billion to 80 billion in 2017 is apples compared to oranges of 300 billion to 750 billion. Today, the market is much more mature and it's much more liquid, and the money coming in is a lot bigger. So here's the deal, cut and dry. We're pretty much out of time for us to hit even our most conservative target under the traditional 4-year theory, in my opinion. I don't think the conditions at this particular time are such that the others can do a 2.5x within the next 5 months. Not to say altcoins can't have performance during that time, but those kind of mega gains, while certainly possible in crypto, I'm not saying it can't happen, are not the most likely scenarios, not my base case. Now, does that mean it's game over for the altcoins? Obviously not. Rather, the point here is that this is just another signal that the 4-year traditional cycle is being challenged, and we're likely to start following more along with the stock markets and business cycles. We're entering into our first extended cycle, extended because we're following, again, equity markets and liquidity cycles, not just a crypto cycle. And importantly, if we're going to hit this $750 billion technical target, we need to acknowledge that it probably happens in 2026. And to be clear, this is what I think is going to happen, that we're going to see a peak in 2026, maybe even 2027. And before we turn to the bear analysis, I did a full analysis on the extended cycle theory about a week ago. So watch this if you want to see my evidence for why I think this theory is going to play out. Now, let's end with the bear case. The ultimate bear case would look something kind of like this. And I know there's a lot of bearishness on sentiment for altcoins, right? So you'd feel justified in thinking like this right now. Regardless whether we get the 4-year or extended cycle, the alts basically just continue to suck balls, and they don't make a higher high compared to the previous cycle. There's just too much bullshit going on, and nobody wants to buy all this crap. The entire space starts putting in major lower highs and lower lows, and it all just goes to zero essentially. Basically, this chart starts looking like one big failing coin. The entirety of the altcoin space comes into question. There's only the top 4 coins that anybody will ever buy, and that's it. Yeah. Just remember, we're not talking about BTC, Ether, Sol here. We're talking about everything outside of the top 10. There's a lot of good shit out there. There's also a lot of shit. Perhaps maybe more of a middle ground approach could be something like this, where the others just do a maddening, slow upwards grind. Max Payne scenario. There's no just mega blow off like, okay, lock in for a month and make $1 million. Nope. They basically feed off the larger gains that BTC and layer ones like ETH and Sol will probably make. I think this is maybe a realistic scenario, perhaps more so than the ultimate bear case. And it's something that we should at least bring into our realm of possibility and discuss. And it's this sideways grinding scenario that would actually fit into the larger extended cycle narrative. There's not going to be this mega super quick blow off like, oh my gosh, everyone gets mega rich in a month kind of thing. It's just going to keep grinding higher as the real valuations for crypto catch up to probably where they more likely should be. Anyways, these are the different perspectives for you. Ultimately, my current bet is that altcoins will definitely have their day. The sentiment's been too shit for too long, and there's a lot of halfway decent, at least, altcoins out there outside of the top 10 that are probably worth investor money and that people will start buying. The narratives are there, the hype is there, the liquidity is coming from treasury companies, the liquidity is coming from increased acceptance from like Robinhood and all these different exchanges. We have huge liquidity flowing in, the business cycle's heating up, money's being printed, global M2 is still going up, everything is lined up. 2.5 years left for the average stock bull market, by the way. You're telling me stocks are going to keep going in a bull market for 2.5 years, but crypto's magically going to go to zero at the exact time that crypto is being massively adopted on Wall Street? Seems unlikely. Okay, so we didn't even discuss the 3.618 Fibonacci line. I feel like that's too much crazy for today's video, okay? But even getting to the 2.618 line, it's a big damn deal. That means all these coins are going to go absolutely bonkers nuts crazy. There'll be a lot of money to be made during this period. But as the cycle has often proven to us, it's much less price-based capitulation as much as time-based capitulation. People give up because it's taking too long. When we get corrections, the corrections are brutal. Price-wise, sometimes yes. Time-wise, mostly. So if you have patience and you are actively trying to select the best altcoins that have the best narrative and are getting attention from the wider market, you're probably going to do well if you can sit on your hands and wait for things to happen, because things will happen. The sentiment has been absolutely in the gutter for most altcoins, and that can't continue. That's the kind of sentiment that comes before major moves start happening. And if we do indeed get our extended cycle theory, it's actually meaning likely that things are going to go way higher than everybody thinks they are, okay? And it means you have a lot more opportunities to continue making money. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.